the Soulish Podcast. My name is Whitney Apke, and I'm your host. On the Soulish Podcast, we're talking all about the ish of our souls. The ish being negative thought patterns, blockages, and challenges. But we'll also discuss the aha moments, how to deeply connect with ourselves and others, and the breakthroughs, big or small, that we experience in our body, soul, and spirit. We'll dive deep and talk about everything in between, of course. And I'm so excited to share my experiences and thoughts, as well as bring on guests who are thought leaders and truth seekers. It's my desire to uplift, encourage, and inspire you in each podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Soulish Podcast. This week we are continuing this mini-series on the 7 chakras or energy centers, and we are talking all about the throat chakra. The throat chakra or energy center is a real personal chakra for me and probably my entire family because we are all musical and we all sing. So I grew up and my family, my immediate family, we would travel and we would sing, we would blast music into the car and belt out singing just constantly. Even going to the grocery store, my mom would have something blasting in the car and we would just be singing as loud as we could to it. And that has just been a constant in my life. So my throat chakra, I actually had it tested because I was really cutting up people with my words. And I was trying so hard to focus on my tone, the words that I was saying, and I was in a relationship at that point. I felt like I was just constantly breaking my partner down instead of building him up. And that was really frustrating because I had the intention of building him up, yet my words were coming out like knives for him. So I went to a chakra energy healer and she read my energy centers, all of them, and specifically my throat chakra was spinning out of control. She was like, this chakra is just out of control. It is completely unbalanced. And when you speak, it's like your tongue is a sword. And I was like, that's exactly it. That's what he said. He said it's like knives. I had like a whole moment of feeling so validated because it was like, thank you. Like, that's it. Like my energy center is off. So we went through everything of like, why is this energy center off? What can you do to balance it? And a lot of it was going back to my roots because I had kind of stepped away from pursuing like a music career. Yes, I'm on iTunes, by the way. And I went into like the tech world, and which is really great because it's definitely been part of what's brought me to where I am now today. But I went to a completely different direction, and then I really wasn't singing at all. I realized I had completely switched, like my whole life had been around music and singing, and I realized I had really taken that out of my life by just completely switching gears. So she said there's a lot of blockages and hindrances because I've been holding back and not singing and not playing. So she just said, like, add that back into your daily life. And that really changed things. And it's funny because now I don't sing still as much as I used to, but because I'm recording this podcast, I may not be singing, but I'm still using my voice. And so for me, just because of my background and my life, I grew up singing. So that was part of like my DNA. Now, not everybody is like that. And obviously there were communication issues going back and forth with that partner of mine. But the main issue for me was the fact that I had turned something off that was on my entire life. And that was a part of literally my genetics. And so that energetically was translating as frustration and angst and feeling that tension of I'm not fully expressing and flowing like I normally do. I normally flow and constantly am using my actual throat and singing, and therefore that energy center is being activated and used. The throat chakra gives voice to the heart chakra, And it also controls our ability to communicate our personal power. And I found a lot of identity in my voice. I felt powerful when I sang and in my personal expression of who I am and my connection with God and spirituality and with people. I thrived off of the fact of I was creating an environment with my voice and with my connection, my personal relationship with God. And I was creating an environment in which people could connect with God and feel connected within themselves as well. So not doing that, I didn't realize how it was creating that hindrance, that block in me. But when you're not communicating, that can bring frustration within your own body, within your own energy center. And then therefore, you have that issue of you're not fully functioning. But when you are fully functioning at full capacity, the throat chakra allows you to express yourself truly and clearly. But if you have a blocked throat chakra, you will feel like you have trouble finding your words to say how you truly feel or express yourself. You not only can't find the words to say, but you use different words to describe, which then leads someone to be confused or misunderstand you. And that can happen a lot too when you're in a heated, continuous argument with somebody like a partner or a friend or family member. That can wear on that energy center for a while, and you can have a real issue finding your words, finding your personal power, standing up for yourself or standing for what you believe and what you value. So it's really important to have that balance in the throat chakra. And I just wanted to share with you my personal experience with that because it really changed things for me a whole lot when I started singing again. And when I started incorporating that back, it also made me feel like I had grace to do it again, that I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't a duty or a career that I was pursuing anymore. It was just something I'm doing because I just love it and I just enjoy it and I enjoy singing. The throat chakra controls obviously communication and self-expression, but it also controls truth, and how you speak your truth matters. This chakra is developed between 29 and 35 years old, and it's the fifth chakra and is the center of your struggle with choice and the ability to release your will to divine guidance, which is really interesting. I think when we have that connection with our personal power, we feel like we are in that control. And if we give up control to speak, then we feel disempowered. But really, it's that choice of when to speak to something and when something needs to be addressed and when we need to trust that the universe, God, has our back. And when we learn to trust that guidance system that we have, whether it's your angels that you're speaking to, whether it's the Holy Spirit, could be anything, that voice, that inner voice within you. Basically, we either have to trust and we have to have faith, or we struggle to trust and we struggle to speak and we struggle to make choices on who we trust in our life and what we're guided by. Hey, it's me, Wit. Did you know that I'm a certified life coach? I have been coaching and mentoring people for over a decade now, and I specialize with issues of the soul and focus on inner freedom and manifestation. I can help you realign with your values and purpose, break free from emotional blockages and negative thought patterns. You will feel motivated and encouraged to take the necessary steps to live a fulfilling life. We all need support and someone to cheer us on or hear us out, and it would be a privilege to be a part of your journey. My sessions are designed so that you are free to address whatever you feel is most important. If you are interested, simply go to whitneyapke.com/coaching and sign up for a free 30-minute call. I can't wait to work with you. The sacred truth of the throat chakra is to surrender personal will to divine will. It's the truth that your every choice, thought, and feeling has biological, environmental, social, personal, and global consequences and reactions. The truth about this is that actions that are motivated by your personal will to surrender, to trust God, the universe, the divine, is what enables you and empowers you with the greatest position and influence to speak, communicate, verbal and non-verbally, to whatever it is that you're facing in your life. And The greatest example that I can give of this is when my mom would be seated on that piano bench up on stage, and my brother and I would be in the audience, and we would be fooling around and about to create a disturbance to the ceremony or church service, whatever was happening. And man, she'd give you a look. Oh, that look would send chills down your spine all the way to your tushy, and you would just be frozen and locked in time, just staring at her, making sure she understands that you see her and that you are not going to continue what you are doing. So nonverbal communication is also very, very powerful and influential. But I think that whole trust, that whole faith, and not feeling like you always have to stand up for yourself in order to be heard. And I think for women, specifically minorities, because of oppression, a lot of women and minority groups also feel like they have to speak up in a not so loving way in order to be heard. And that could be tone, that could be what you're saying, the words that you're choosing to speak. But I think that the most important part of this whole chakra and energy center is to flow still from a place of love, because your throat chakra is communicating from your heart chakra. It's not communicating from your root, your sacral, your solar plexus. It's specifically communicating from your heart chakra. So it's important what you have in your heart. It's important that you're healed. It's important that you're not dealing with brokenness or a block or a hindrance, something that you're holding on to and holding back from releasing even in your life, because that is all going to be communicated. The organs that the throat chakra influences is the throat, the thyroid, trachea, neck vertebrae, mouth, teeth, gums, jaw, esophagus, parathyroid, and hypothalamus. So these organs are directly connected with that energy center. So a lot of people that deal with TMJ or something to do with any of those organs or any of those functions within your body that are even your teeth, your jaw, your esophagus, you have acid reflux, anything like that, or imbalances in your thyroid, feeling like your neck is really tense and really tight, even those muscles around your neck. So it's really important to have relaxation, and it's really important to have that flow, and it's really important to feel that peace, and that you're communicating from a place of peace, joy, love, patience, kindness, compassion, empathy. All of that matters. The negative effects, if your throat chakra is blocked or hindered, that you can experience are things like raspy throat or raspy voice, chronic sore throat, mouth ulcers, gum difficulties, TMJ, scoliosis, laryngitis, swollen glands, and thyroid problems. The emotional issues that you can experience if your throat chakra is blocked or hindered is your choice and your strength of will, struggling with your personal expression and following your dreams, feeling like you could even pursue, maybe even dream dreams. And you can really feel hindered, blocked, or like you're not able to use your personal power to create. You can struggle with things like addiction, with judgment, with criticism. You can struggle in your faith, in your knowledge, and your capacity to make decisions. So it's really, really important to make sure that your throat chakra is balanced, because it is the hub of communication. And if you have all these things within you that you feel so purposed to communicate in whatever way that is, whether it's art or whether it's in business, or it could be anything, even to a loved one, to your family, and to not feel like you have the ability to communicate that, and then to have physical issues because of that block or hindrance, it's very, very, very frustrating. And I know that from personal experience. When I was really going through something personal and was struggling, I realized once I stepped away and stepped into a place of trust and of faith and believing that things would work out for my good, that's when things started to turn around for me, because I just sat back and trusted and just had peace for once. And that let go of all the tension that I was feeling within my body and with my energy centers. And so that allowed me to be able to flow and relax and chill out so that then life could basically work itself out. And it also helped me to have a clear head so that I could make the right decisions and not mess up in that sense of making wrong decisions out of stress and anxiety and fear of the future. So now, as we always do, I would like to share with you just a couple questions that I ask myself in a self-examination just to see where I'm at as far as any blockages or any hindrances. And this is to just really help you navigate and to work through any issues. So one question that I like to ask myself right off the bat is, can you express yourself honestly and openly when you need to? If not, why not? This question is a really good question to ask just right up front if you feel like you are maybe blocked in your throat chakra, because if you can't be honest with yourself and if you can't stay authentic and express yourself in your most authentic way, in your most authentic form, then why? Why are you feeling like you can't be yourself? Maybe you want acceptance more than you want to just be who you are. And that's a part of development as well that we go through. But if you went through that and you never recovered, you never kind of did a full swing back over into balance later on in life, realizing that you needed to be true to who you were and true to yourself, and that it actually didn't matter if people fully accepted you for that, you still weren't going to sacrifice your authenticity for that, for acceptance, then you can really be struggling with being honest with what you want in your life, the dreams that you have for your life, what you want to do, how you want to spend your days, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you feel motivated to wake up in the morning, what keeps you up at night. If you can't be honest with yourself and communicate openly and honestly, then that is an issue. And then you need to maybe dig a little bit deeper into the reasons. Maybe you got shut down early on in your development, in your life, in your childhood, and you felt like you didn't have the right to speak, that someone was speaking for you. Then that may be an area of healing that you need to look at, because it's not worth you giving up the rest of your life, the rest of your years, and not communicating, not being honest with yourself, not being honest with those around you that you care about, that you trust, not fully expressing yourself. You can't fully be honest and open in a relationship. You're struggling. You feel like you have to play games, or you have to have that wall up, and you have to test things out and create drama and arguments in order to see if they'll really stay with you. Things like that, right? Come out of a place of you must have been hurt and hindered in some way in your life in order to be acting out that way and basically running from communicating your heart, communicating how you really feel, what you really want, and being vulnerable in that way. So it's really good to ask yourself that. Can you express yourself honestly and openly when you need to? And if not, why not? The other question I like to ask is, what makes you lose control of your own willpower? This is a really great check-in for those that struggle with popping off, right? Getting angry, having a burst of emotion. What is causing you to lose control? What is causing you to flip-flop? What is causing you to not have self-control? What makes you lose your own willpower? That could even be in regards to addiction, saying no, whatever it is. What causes you to give up your willpower for that, whatever it is? What is it? We all want something, right? So bad that we would give up our own willpower for. We've all had that moment at least once, if not multiple times throughout our life. So what is that? What makes you lose control of your own willpower? And that helps you go down deep into yourself and understand, where is that insecurity? Where is that need? Where is that fear? What is it that you're dealing with? Why would you give up your own personal power, your own choice, and will to choose, will to express yourself? What makes you choose to surrender to fear and anxiety than faith and trust and hope? It's a really good question to ask yourself. I hope that this was helpful to you and can help you dig a little bit deeper into this energy center to evaluate and examine yourself, examine this specific energy center, this chakra, that you can really find personal expression and personal power as you dive deep and examine and make sure that you're fully able to express and communicate who you are, your authenticity. The world needs you. The world needs your authenticity and needs that communicated in whatever way that you end up communicating it. And I hope that you feel like you better understand yourself as well as this energy center and how it functions. And so that then you can recognize when it is out of balance or out of whack or not being used or, being blocked in some way, so that way you fully function, your heart can be fully communicated, because that is the goal, that we all are fully connected and resonating with our hearts and what our heart wants, our dreams, our purpose, and that we have hope for something, that we have hope for a future. I think that's so important right now, and that we can clearly communicate it and share that and express ourselves with the people that we love and we trust most. So I love you guys very much, and I look forward to next week. And we have only 2 more episodes left to go. And we will do a Q&A at the end on Instagram Live. So I'm really excited for that. And I definitely will have more details coming on that as well. And we'll be posting on the I Am Soulish Instagram for the Q&A. So you will have a good heads up. So if you don't follow the I Am Soulish Instagram, that is where all of the updates are coming, and when the Q&A is going to happen, and a bunch of other things that are really awesome and great, and where you can also communicate and express yourself and share your ideas and thoughts that you have on this mini series and anything else that you have. So definitely go over there, follow the I Am Soulish Instagram, and I will be really happy to see you there. I will see you back here next week for more on this mini series of the 7 chakras. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Soulish is not only a podcast, but a community where we can relate to each other and support each other in our soul journeys. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at I Am Soulish.